Hey fam, welcome back to Catching Up with the one and only Renee. So if this is your first time on this channel, make sure to subscribe and join the fam. And if you're already part of this big beautiful family, you already know how we keep it lit on this channel. So don't forget to like, share and turn on your post notification bell to be alerted every time I post a brand new video. Yes, so guys, today's video is a story time, and I'm sure you've already seen by the title that it's a juicy story. Yes, and yes, I know what most of you are thinking, Renee, second wife, how? And yes, you have to listen to this story, guys, because it is quite a story. Yes, so without wasting any time, let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so let's get right into this story. Okay, so this happened after I had completed my 12th grade, and that was somewhere in 2015. Yes, I had just come back from school. I was at a boarding school, by the way. So mom didn't want me to just be lazing around, sleeping around, so she made sure like I was occupied. I remember I was helping her at the shop, and I started my IT course. Yeah, she was like, most jobs now need like computer literate people, and yeah, you have to be literate with computers, because I know you girl, you know nothing. And let me tell you, up to now, even after taking that course, I still know nothing. okay ma'am, please don't be disappointed, but it's true. Yeah, and apart from that, I started working at a radio station. We're going to start like a youth program and all that. So guys, this is what happened. I was 2 weeks in this IT course thing. I used to go there every morning. It was like a center, not really a school or what, it was just like a center. Yeah, I would go there in the morning and come back like after 4 hours or so. Yeah, and I had to walk to the place. The place was actually, I think, like 20 to 25 minutes away. Actually, even thinking about it, that place was far. I remember every morning when I start off, I would be walking, and you know Zambia guys, when you are walking, men always holler at you. Sometimes in the morning, this guy would just holler at me, "Hey, my sister, but you just know those things don't really get to you, so I'll just be like, eh. And guys, let me tell you what type of girl I was and I am. I'm one person whom didn't really wasn't really interested in this like dating thing. I think the first boyfriend I had, by then I had already dated like one person seriously. Yeah, and this person, it took this person 4 years to actually get me as a girlfriend. And I'm not a materialistic person. I actually like people the way they are. I look for more than material things. So yeah, sometimes in school, you know, I would have friends who had boyfriends who would buy them stuff, boyfriends who had cars, and I was just there like, my boyfriend never used to drive, he never used to buy me things. You know, high school pressure, guys. And I was just there like, I was just the cute girl, you know, I love you for what you got. That's how I still am anyways. Yeah. So 2 weeks into my IT course, this particular morning I was going to school, walking, you know. I looked fresh that day, if I need to mention that. This dashing guy called me, he stopped me, and we need to give this guy a name. What will we call him? We'll call him Jack. Yes, I like the name Jack because of Titanic. Oh. Yeah, so Jack stopped me, and the only reason I stopped is because he caught my attention. He was smartly dressed, and he looked like he wasn't one of the caponyas in Zambia, like the gang guys. He looked like, you know, well put together guy, and I was like, Okay, honey, I'ma stop for you. I'ma give you my time. Yes, so this guy stopped me. He talked to me. He asked me what my name was. And he told me his name, and he told me, oh, I see you I've been seeing you for the past 2 weeks, like, you know, pass here. And where do you go? I told him where I go, and he was like, okay, I really find you interesting. Would you like for us to know each other? And I was like, I mean, why would I say no? I mean, that was the first time someone that like mature, smart looking was actually, you know, like stopping me. So I was like, honey, I'm not passing this opportunity to know this guy. He was somewhere in his mid, like, I don't know, okay, if it was 30, I'm bad at age thingy, telling people's age, but I think someone 30 to 35, if most, yeah, yes. So, yeah. So I noticed time was going and this girl was running late. So I told him, I was like, okay, after we had talked, we had chit-chatted for some time, we exchanged numbers. Yeah, and I was like, okay, I need to go, I'm getting late. And he told me, well, do I need the car? Like, he can take me there. Hold up, wait a minute, honey, you telling me you drive, honey? I was like, I even told him, I was like, you've got a car? Then he was like, no, I've got a taxi, like it's like my personal taxi. And then I was like, my mind was just like, okay. I was like, no, it's okay. I just told him, I was like, no, it's okay, fine, I'll just walk it. I'm almost there. And I was lying, I wasn't almost there, it was too far. But like, I think if he said he had the car, I would have gone with him.
This is your car?
This is my car, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, anyways, yeah, skip. I went to class, to the center. I learned, this all happened in Chipata, by the way, guys, yeah. So I learned, then he texted me while I was in class. He was like, when you knock off, tell me, I'll send the taxi to take you home, or if you want to go anywhere, you can tell him and he'll take you there. So I was like, honey, I didn't say no to that one. I was like, okay, I'll do this one. Then when I knocked off, I told him, then he told his taxi guy, and the taxi guy came to pick me up. I felt so special, you know. I actually even gave a lift to my friend, one of the girls who were at the center. So that day at home, I decided, you know what, I wasn't used to such, you know. So for me, it was charming. He texted me, he checked up on me if I ate that day. Then we started talking throughout the day. Me and him were chatting, getting to know each other. He was asking me questions, and guys, I was already beginning to feel them little butterflies in my stomach. Yes, anyways, yeah. So at night we kept chatting, and by then I was living with my mom and my two cousins. One was a boy and one was a girl. They were young, yeah, somewhere like 13 and 7-year-olds, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So guys, this guy texted me the whole day. He called me at some point, but I couldn't talk nicely. I'm in my mother's house. What do you expect, honey? Yeah, so I couldn't talk nicely. So I was like, let's just chat, you know. Okay. And at night we kept chatting, and the thing is, my phone kept on going like ting ting ting. Oh wait, that's iPhone. Guys, I don't remember what phone I had then, but the sound that it made, the message sound, kept on. Guys, my mom, the wall that divides the two rooms, my mom's room and mine, was so thin. My mom heard the phone and she was like, Iwe Chanda, phone your baby, keep silent, texting. We can't keep talking. Good night. Yes. Next day, I waited for my mom to go to work. Then before I started off for school, he sent me a taxi again. For the first time, I went to the center on a taxi. Guys, I was living the best life. I went to school. Then when I knocked off, he told me that the taxi is still going to come pick me up, but I'll need to meet him somewhere so we can, like, you know, he just sees me, because apparently he missed my face. I mean, what's not missable about this face, honey? Yeah. So He picked me up. I went to a certain shop, a place called Down Shops in Chipata, if you know the place. Yeah, it was a big shop, and he was seated there near the person who actually owns the shop. That was his friend, I think, or cousin. I don't know up to this day. He looked at me when I entered the shop, guys. You know, that type of thing. Like, he was so mature, you know, but there was something about him that was so special. Yeah, he looked at me as I entered the shop. I was like, "Hi, you look nice today," you know. And then he introduced me to his friend. And then I heard him talking Tonga. Tonga. I don't understand the language, but when Tongas are speaking, you know this is Tonga. Like, there's so much energy in the language, you just know. Yeah. So he told me, he was like, he wants us to go out tomorrow since it's a weekend and I don't have class. And I was like, okay, Zeddy, I mean, I'm free. It's a Saturday. I was worried about my mom though, because he wanted us to go out in the evening. But I remembered my mom wasn't going to be home. She was going for orders, Lusaka, because she's a businesswoman. Yeah, so I was like, you know, that's perfect. I was like, okay, Daddy. And he introduced me to his friend, and his friend was like, oh, she's so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, thank you. Yeah. So that's how I went home, you guys. You know, one thing I'm now realizing, this guy, actually, I didn't ask him a lot of questions. I should have, you know, like, asked him more questions, you know, blah blah blah. So after that, I went home. I had these butterflies that kept on increasing with numbers. Like, it's so different, you know, like when you've been dating schoolboys and then you actually date someone who hasn't been in school for a while. Yeah, boy. You know what I mean? Okay. And in the back of my head, I was somehow thinking of how I was going to brag to some of my friends. So I went home Saturday. I don't actually remember quite well if I went to school that Saturday, if I went to the center that Saturday. I keep saying school because, you know, I'm used to the word school. Yeah, I'm not sure if I went, but if I went, I'm sure my taxi was there. I mean, I owned the whole taxi, you guys. At this point, I literally don't know how to use my feet anymore. Yeah, but in the evening, my mom had left and I got ready for my date. Honey, that was actually like my first date where I'm going like somewhere, you know. I made sure I told the kids I'll be back. I left the food in place for them. When they were hungry, I told them to eat. The girl was bigger, so I wasn't really that worried. Yeah. And yes, I called my man, my soon-to-be man, and I told him I was ready. He came, he picked me up, and yeah, we started off in the car. So guys, as we're on the car, he kept on talking about these kids. Like, it was like he was arranging sort of a birthday party for one of them, and he kept on, like, you know, talking, like, buy them this, and sometimes it spoke in Tonga, but sometimes mostly Nyanja. So yeah, I was just like, my senses weren't right, and it hit in my head that this is kids. Oh my God. In my mind, I was like, Chanda, what are you going to do if this man has kids? I could think in the back that maybe he's married, but I didn't want to think, you know, when you try to ignore the worst scenario. That's what I was doing. I was just thinking of the kids. I was like, that's the worst scenario. And I was like, I mean, if he has kids and he's single, maybe his wife passed on, maybe, I don't know, he's a divorcee or something. I mean, maybe I'm ready to be a stepmom. I don't know. A lot of things were just going on in my head. And we arrived at the lodge where we were going to have our date. It was a certain lodge. I don't remember the name. I actually had never been there before. And it was so pretty. We sat outside, there were other couples around us having a good time, and at that moment I felt like, honey, I'm happening. Yeah. So we ordered our food. I ordered a chicken and chips. Chicken and chips is life, Pazed. So when you hear Nikuja chicken and chips, you know. Yeah. And again, after some time, after talking, he received a phone call. And this time he was actually talking to the kids, and he was telling one of them that he bought the kid a bike, blah blah blah. Then it transfers into Tonga, so I couldn't hear much. Yeah, so immediately he got something in my stomach. Was like, we gotta ask him, honey, we gotta ask him, because you're starting to like this man. I gathered up my courage and I asked this guy, who are those kids? And he looked straight into my face and told me,
they're my kids.
One's a boy, one's a girl. And I was just like, stay calm. Do not panic. Stay calm. I'm sure he has an explanation for why he has on a date when he's got kids. So I was like, okay. After I ate again 2 bites, then he was like, so I have something to tell you. Just to be honest with you, I'm a Tonga man, and you know very well in our culture we're allowed to have more than one wife. Oh no guys! I had felt my world crumble guys. That sentence alone had killed me guys. And he was like, and I want you to be my second wife. Honey, how am I going to tell my mom that someone wants me to be his second wife? Not his first, but his second wife. And my mom, I'm her first daughter, and I'm going to be a second wife. And why didn't you tell me earlier that you are married? God damn it, I'm having all these butterflies. I'm young, I love fast, and there you are telling me you are married. And here you are telling me you want me to be a second wife. Like, the fuck, nigga? And I just stopped eating. Like, I felt like something had closed my throat. I couldn't swallow anymore. And it was like, I'm a very honest man. I'm not cheating on my wife. She knows very well that there's a second and possibly even third position open. And I was seeing you all these past 2 weeks, and I knew you'd make a very good wife material. And if you want to be my second wife, I'm okay with it. You just let me know, because I already like you. These past 4 days we've talked, and your personality is very amazing. You're an intelligent woman. That's the type of woman I want in my life. I was just like, I was so depressed. I couldn't hear anything he was saying. And then I asked him, I was like, but I'm just from school and I'm 16 years old. Then he was like, that doesn't matter. You're already at the age to become, like, to get married. It's already okay. And if you want to continue with school, you can do a certain course. If you want to do it, you know, like in Lusaka here, but you have to be close to me, so you can go ahead, continue with school. My mind was like, nigga. Okay, by then I never even thought of studying abroad. So in my mind, I'm going to study at UNZA, and there's no way I'm going to go to university married. Oh hell no! And miss out on the good university life. No, I was so disappointed in this man. And immediately he talked about marriage, I became so aware of my environment. I was just thinking, everyone around here, Chipata is such a small place, guys. If there's anyone in this place who knows my mom or who knows the wife to this man, I'm gonna get in trouble. This woman is going to come around my house and she's going to come yelling, hey, uzani mwana wanu ataenda na mamna wanga. And my mom was not ready to have such heart attacks or such problems. And I just hid my face. I was just like, please God, let there not be anyone. And I just like stopped eating, and I was like, you know what, the kids are lonely, I have to go back home. And it was like, okay, fine, let's go. And it was like, I'm giving you time. By tomorrow you tell me what you think. By tomorrow. People take 6 years to decide if they should get married, and you're telling me by tomorrow I should have an answer for you. Sick. Guys, I went home, and by the way, this guy was actually doing a lot of things for me. He was buying me airtime for my phone. he would send me like 30k airtime, 30k, 40k, 20k airtime. Guys, do you know how much airtime that is? And on top of that, like when I went to see him at the shop, he gave me 100 kwacha to go get something for lunch. Guys, like I have never been spoiled like that in my life. So yes, that's how we got on a taxi. The taxi came and he was taking me home and I couldn't talk, and he was just like, listen, I'm not doing anything wrong. You know very well my tradition allows me to take a second wife, and you're a very beautiful, intelligent woman, and I've chosen you. I've already talked to my brothers about it. They already know about you, and practically you're already my second wife. It's just up to you. Then I was like, nigga, psh, how are you gonna marry me without my consent, even in your head? So like I was just like, I couldn't talk at that point. I was just like, fine, we'll talk tomorrow. And then when we arrived at the gate, he gave me that was a 50 kwacha, and he was like, no, the kids are alone at home, take them to the nearest shop and at least buy them jiggies. Jiggies are these things like, you know, Cheetos. I did take the kids out to buy Cheetos, Manchos, jiggies in Zambia, but I kept the change to myself. Yeah, and I went home and I was so depressed. I was so guilty. Guys, that's not the type of person I am. And knowing that I was with someone else's husband, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. Truth be put out, didn't know. 4 days, actually 3, because the first day was this first day was the day I met him. And when I slept in bed, I thought of how easy it was to, you know, just take advantage of this situation. He had money, I wouldn't have to worry, because even said in his case, he was like, he was gonna take care of me as I already saw. Guys, it was very tempting. I had to make a decision that night, and as good as the everything was, I still decided the next day. I called him and I told him I wasn't going to carry on with it. I can't be a second wife. I literally just had one boyfriend, guys. I know nothing about men, and I wasn't ready for a marriage. I was too young, and I can't be a second wife. Right now I don't believe in polygamy marriages. I'm not saying they're bad, it's just my opinion. I don't think I'm ready to be someone's second or be first and have second, third follow me. Hey, I'm a jealous girl, honey, jealous partner. I can't get divided attention. So I told him, and this nigga was just like, okay. So, you know, I expected him to call back after, you know, some time to, you know, say, oh, but please, you just no begging. Guys, he never did that. He didn't beg. He just said, okay, have a nice day, blah, blah, blah. And he never called me from that day. This man, he had made it clear that he had made me his second wife already. But I wasn't ready for that life. And yeah, guys, that's my story of how I became this second wife. I wouldn't be in Russia right now. I would be having 3 kids by now if it wasn't for, yeah, my decision. Okay, so guys, that brings us to the end of that story time. Here's a lesson that I would like to teach most young people or stuff like that. Firstly, early marriage won't solve your problems. And secondly, if you are the type of girl that I am or I was, I don't know, whatever, don't be materialistic. Even if you've got friends who have boyfriends, who've got cars, who have it all, and your boyfriend is just there, don't worry. Time will come and you probably meet someone with those material things that you want, or better off, become your own boss, have those things, or build an empire with someone. Yeah, don't, because for me, in my case, I mean, that's one thing that was pushing me. I was like, this guy, I've never been with someone who's provided for me like that, and this is what my friends would be bragging about, and it felt good. And I also wanted to brag to my friends that I had someone who was doing all these fancy things for me. So please, guys, just work hard. Don't depend on someone else's son to provide for your needs. You feel me? But I mean, if he wants to spoil you, let him do so. Okay, so guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. I see you haven't yet subscribed. Hello, honey. Subscribe. Yes. And yeah, basically that's it. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. And yeah, see you next time on Catching Up with Renee.